各位同事亦夠鐘亦都夠人數。首先係通過2014年3月21日舉行嘅第19次會議紀要。
Members, the minutes of the 19th meeting held on the 21st March have been forwarded to you. No amendments, so minutes confirmed. Matters arising, report by the chairman on his meeting with the Chief Secretary for Administration. We will cover that under item 8. Business arising from previous council meetings. Legal Service Division reports on bills referred to the House Committee in accordance with Rule 54.4. Legal Advisor. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There are 3 reports on 3 bills. The first one, Contracts Rights of Third Parties Bill, paper number LS40. The bill seeks to provide for changing the principles for the enforcement of contractual terms, so that under certain circumstances, a third party who is not a party to the contract may enforce a particular term to the contract. The panel on Administration of Justice and Legal Services was consulted on the 26th of November last year. Members did not raise any objection to the proposal. But this proposed change is about an important doctrine in the law of contract. It is recommended that the Bills Committee be formed. Members, do you wish to form a Bills Committee? Yes? Okay. Mr. Kwok Him is joining. Any other members, please? Fine. So a circular will be issued. Next, please, Mr. Legal Advisor. Employment Amendment Bill 2014, paper number LS39. This bill proposes to amend the employment ordinance to provide a statutory paternity leave for male employees of up to 3 days with pay at a daily rate of 1/4 of the employee's average daily wages. The panel on manpower was consulted at one of its meetings. Members supported the proposal in principle. We are still studying the bill in detail. We propose Bills Committee. Okay, Bills Committee, please, members. Ms. N. Chiang proposed a Bills Committee. Who would like to join, please? Okay, again, the Secretary will circulate the paper to you. Next, please, Mr. Legal Advisor. Yes, the third bill is the Pharmacy and Poisons Amendment Bill 2014, paper number LS41. The bill amends the Pharmacy and Poisons Ordinance, the Pharmacy and Poisons Regulations, and the Poisons List Regulations to implement certain recommendations of the Review Committee on Regulation of Pharmaceutical Products in Hong Kong and update to the legislative provisions. It covers a wide scope. So we have listed out all the substantial changes. And then by way of subsidiary legislation, there are certain provisions which could be made by negative vetting or by positive vetting. The panel on health services was consulted last year and earlier this year on these proposals, and deputations have also given their views on the proposals. Well, this is a lengthy, bulky bill. We're still studying it. We believe members would want to set up a Bills Committee to consider it. Okay, Bills Committee. Dr. Joseph Lee proposes the Bills Committee. Who would like to join, please? Okay, the Secretariat will circulate the relevant papers. Next, Legal Service Division in report on subsidiary legislation gazetted on the 21st of March 2014 and tabled in Council on the 26th of March. Legal Advisor, please. Mr. Chairman, there's just one item. It's paper number LS38. Dutiable Commodities Amendment Regulation 2014. Under the Dutiable Commodities Ordinance, a license is required for the import, export, manufacture, or storage of alcoholic liquors, tobacco, hydrocarbon oil, and methyl alcohol. Right now, the application must be made in paper form. The regulation is to introduce an electronic system for processing applications for licenses. To ensure a smooth migration to the e-licensing system, there is a 6-month transitional period provided for in the new regulation, and during that time, applications may still be made in paper form. So that's all by way of report. Do you wish to set up a subcommittee, please, members? No? Business for the Council meeting of the 9th and 10th of April 2014. Questions 22 written questions have been scheduled. Bills resumption of debate on second reading. Appropriation Bill 2014. In accordance with Rule 36(5) of the Rules of Procedure, each member will have 15 minutes to speak. There are 3 pieces of subsidiary legislation. The period for amendment will expire on the 9th of April. The list has been tabled for members, and the relevant subcommittee report will be submitted. Now, the deadline for giving notice would be the 31st of March, Monday, by midnight. Reports of bills committees and subcommittees. Report of the Subcommittee on Toys and Children's Products Safety, Additional Safety Standards or Requirements, Regulations, Toys and Children's Products Safety Regulation, Repeal Regulation, and Toys and Children's Products Safety Amendment Ordinance 2013 Commencement Notice. Mr. Jeffrey Lam. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Toys and Children's Products Safety, Additional Safety Standards or Requirements Regulation seeks to set a cap on the concentration of 6 types of phthalates in toys and children's products, and to incorporate the matters dealt with in the existing regulation, that is the Toys and Children's Products Safety Regulation, Cap 424B. The existing regulation will be repealed by way of the relevant commencement notice. The administration has appointed the 1st of July 2014 to be as the day on which the Toys and Children's Products Safety Amendment Ordinance comes into operation. The committee held 2 meetings with the administration and received views from deputations. Members supported in general the control imposed on the 6 types of phthalates to protect children's health. Some deputations from the sector have referred to certain operational details such as the testing method, the provision of certification, and so on. In the light of these views, the subcommittee has asked the administration to provide detailed guidelines with full elaboration, and then the administration should report to the panel on the progress of drafting these guidelines. The administration has pointed out that the Toys and Children's Products Safety, Additional Safety and Requirements Regulation will commence on the 1st of July this year. On or after that date, for the manufacture, import and supply of toys or children's products, if they do not comply with the phthalate requirements, it would be an offense. The subcommittee and administration will be proposing an amendments. We will provide the written report later. Thank you. Members, if I may remind you, the deadline for giving notice of amendment would be the 9th. The deadline for giving notice would be the 1st of April. Next, report of the Subcommittee on Resolution of the Board of Directors of the Poland Cook. Mr. Ma Fong Kwok. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Board of Resolutions of the Poland Cook seeks to amend the schedule to the Poland Cook Ordinance Cap 1040 to extend the scope of Poland Cook services so Poland Cook may establish, maintain and manage medical and healthcare institutions in Hong Kong to provide all kinds of medical and health services for the Hong Kong community. The administration explained to the subcommittee that since its establishment in 1878, Poland Cook has been providing a variety of welfare, educational, recreational, and cultural services. In view of the aging population and the community's increasing need for healthcare services, PLK proposes to expand its scope of services to medical and health services for the general public. The proposal has the in-principle policy support of the Food and Health Bureau. The subcommittee held a meeting with the administration on the proposal to extend the scope of services of Poland Cook to provide medical and healthcare services. Members supported and in general. In response to members' questions, the administration has pointed out that in providing any specific medical and health services, Poland Cook is required to comply with all applicable statutory requirements as well as the relevant land lease conditions. Some members expressed concern whether the resolution will allow the Poland Cook to provide medical and healthcare services on a commercial basis. Poland Cook explained to members that it is the plan of the Poland Cook to provide medical and health services at low cost to the general public and for free to the underprivileged. But some members believe if it could be spelled out clearly in the schedule to the Poland Cook ordinance that the fee policy of the Poland Cook in the provision of medical and healthcare services, it would be more desirable. The administration has agreed to move amendments so that the object of the Poland Cook to provide medical and healthcare services to the general public at low cost or free would be spelled out, and the relevant provisions will be included on the fee aspects. As in the schedule to the Poland Cook ordinance, there are provisions on the powers of the board of directors to manage corporations and lay down rules. Some members believe that the provisions ought to be made clearer to detail the different types of institutions that the board of directors could manage, maintain, operate, regulate, or supervise. So in response to members' suggestions, the administration will be moving technical amendments to spell out in the objects of Poland Cook the kinds of institutions that are under its management, including hostel and accommodation, nursery, schools, educational institutions, and so on. The administration and the Poland Cook have responded to members' concern, and the administration will be moving amendments. These documents have been forwarded to members for the consideration. If there is need to hold another meeting, it will be held at next Monday, and the deadline for giving notice to amend the subsidiary legislation will be the 9th of April 2014. We will submit our written report later. Thank you. Next, the report of the Subcommittee on Rating Exemption Order 2014. I'm the chairman of the subcommittee. The Rating Exemption Order 2014 is to implement the one-off rate relief measures in the budget. That is, there will be a waiver of 2 quarters of rates capped at $1,500 per quarter for 2014 to 15. The subcommittee held one meeting with the administration. The majority of members do not oppose in principle to the rate relief measures, but some members believe that the relief measures should focus on grassroots. They propose that the waiver period should be extended to 4 quarters, and for each quarter the rate waiver cap should be lowered so that grassroots citizens could make the full use of the $3,000 of relief. And also for the number of properties under the same rate payee, there should be a cap to which the waiver would apply. The administration pointed out that there is a one-off foregone revenue of $6.1 billion under this proposal, and this has to be capped. And so to extend the rate waiver to 4 quarters, that means each quarter the cap will have to be lowered to $600. Then some may not be able to benefit fully from the relief measures. That's why the administration believes its original proposal is more desirable. The subcommittee and the administration will not be moving any amendments. The subcommittee notes that Mr. Lee Chak-yan and Ms. Sit Ho have indicated their intention to make amendments so that grassroots citizens could benefit fully from this relief measure. The subcommittee has decided not to extend the scrutiny period of the subsidiary legislation, the period of which will expire on the 16th of April. Now, for the two sets of subsidiary legislation under the 2 reports just now, the deadline for making amendments will be on the 16th of April. Notice to give deadlines should be made before the 9th of April. Report position of bills committees and subcommittees. There are 6. As at the 27th of March, there are 6 subcommittees under House Committee, 7 subcommittees on policy matters. There are 3 on the waiting list. Next, procedure for the nomination and election of members to the the Committee on Access to the Legislature's Documents and Records. This is for members to consider nominations and nomination and election of members to the Committee on Access to the Legislature's Documents and Records, and determine the date for holding the election. I may ask members to approve the procedure spelled out in paragraph 6 of the paper, and also we seek your endorsement for the election to be held on the 11th of April. Any questions, please? No? Okay, then. So all agreed. Next, Legislative Council delegation to conduct a duty visit to Shanghai. The President of LegCo will lead delegation of LegCo members on a duty visit to Shanghai. Here we to consider the proposal. Members are asked to approve the proposal, and also the financial arrangements spelled out in paragraph 10, and also the visit program in the paper. Mr. Temyu Chung. Well, we've studied the paper. There's more or less the same as the visit program proposed by the 42 members. So we welcome the arrangement. Thank you.
Mr. Gary Fang, 42 pro-establishment members will certainly go, I believe. Mr. Lam Tai-Fai said in an envious way that the Pan-Democrats should also go. That you're asked to go by the CPG, so why not? In the documents, according to Mr. C.Y. Leung's statement, we are going to look at the relationship between Shanghai and Hong Kong, the constitutional developments, and or cooperation between the places. It will be very interactive. But in this House Committee paper, in paragraph 7, it stresses that we will be discussing matters of mutual concern, including constitutional reform. We are going to have half a day to see Wang Guangya, Mr. Wang Guangya, Mr. Li Fei. If, according to Mr. C.Y. Leung, the time that is going to be devoted to constitutional reform will not be long. And also, paragraph 9 talks about the media arrangement for the visit. It's not mentioned in Mr. the CE's letter. According to our secretariat, we would facilitate media coverage throughout the visit on a self-paying basis. So would there be coverage on the half-day exchange and discussion forum? Last time I asked for transparency to enable the public in Hong Kong to understand what goes on. Would there be a video taping or audio taping and other arrangements to facilitate coverage? Secretary General, Mr. Fan talks about two things. First, the discussion forum. In the letter from the CE to our President, point 4 is relevant. And here, we are providing an itinerary of the visit. As for details of media coverage, we have to talk to the relevant receptions organization in the Shanghai municipal government. But as in line with our practice for visits by electrical members, there will be a media coverage all the way. Whether there will be a video or audio recording, we have to first of all listen to what members think, and we have to talk to the host as well. Secretary General, I asked the same question in the last House Committee meeting. So far, we haven't got any answer. According to the Secretary General, you need to ask again. So you are unable to tell us one way or the other whether there will be a video or audio recording to cover the visit? Well, if you want to talk about specifically whether there will be an audio recording or video recording for each of the meetings, so far there's no final decision. When can we expect one? Secretary General? We need to talk to the host organization first. actually, well, different members hold different views, and we will take all of the views into account. Mr. Frederick Fung, last week 20 members from the Pan-Democratic asked for three things. First, we want to talk mainly about constitutional reform in Hong Kong, and then we would like to have some time devoted to meet Pan-Democratic members in this council, and then we want to get an answer. But in this paper and in the letter from the CE, it's not said whether there will be a separate session, separate time arrangement for the Pan-Democrats in this visit. So far, there's been no formal answer as regards whether it's acceded to or not. So, Chairman, I hope through you we can talk to the host, and when can we expect an answer? This morning, when we talked to the President, this particular matter was raised. We continue to follow up the matter. Mr. Albert Chan. Thank you, Chairman. Last time I raised a question, I didn't get any elucidation, and according to this paper, I asked a question about whether this was arranged for us. I think the answer is already clear. I think you, Chairman of the House Committee, and the President should explain to members. As a member, I don't want to be offended. I don't want to be imposed something like a visit. We should, if we are to visit another, if we are to pay a visit, we should do it with dignity. Well, this is a visit which, in my view, has been sloppily arranged. I don't blame the Secretariat. If you rely on Mr. C.Y. Leung in making the arrangements, you know that he's a habitual liar, and what he says today may be very different the next day. I think if we rashly accept this, we'll be doing ourselves a bad turn. We'll be insulting ourselves. I think it should be led by our President. Instead of being manipulated by Mr. 689, a big liar. So every time where we are going to visit will be announced by the CE. And very rarely do I see our presidents say anything in response. So allowing ourselves to be insulted, this is ridiculous. It would be the biggest disgrace if we allow others to insult this council like this. Mr. Leung Kok-hong, well, this is now a story told by different people in different ways. Whether it was requested by Mrs. C.Y. Leung, whether she asked the CPG to arrange this for electoral members, or the President took the initiative. Well, it's difficult to get an answer. It's rather messy. In this council, of course, those who are not going to go on this visit have nothing to say. They will think this is meaningless, and gradually this becomes clear that it's really meaningless. And if I ask whether there will be audio recording all the way during the visit, is that going to happen? Would there be a chance for LESCO members to call a press conference before the end of the visit? Well, when I want to talk to reporters, the reporters will be pushed away, not that I will be pushed away. And I don't know how these problems can be resolved. So I have made an appointment, $7,800, a lot of money to a poor man. I don't know how senior in ranking those officials will be that will be meeting us. Would the Secretariat be bold enough to allow me to criticize, direct criticism at them? Last time I did it with Mr. Zhang Dejiang, and it seems that he still bears grudges against me. Now he's the person in charge of Hong Kong and Macau affairs in the State Council. Would you arrange for another chance for me to scold him? Well, I think time's up for you. Ms. Dr. Helena Wong. I believe that the arrangement is problematic. There are so many details that are lacking. If this is a legislative visit, there should be more say for LegCo to make arrangements. We don't know what will be done on which day, and when are we going to stay together for certain activities, and when are we going to split up for different activities. I know that at least half a day will be devoted for the discussion. You don't want to cover so many things: social, economic, cooperation, and relationship. So are you going to talk about politics in that discussion forum? Of course, Pan-Democrats would like to devote the half-day session to constitutional reform mainly. And there should be different small group discussions so that we can have a chance to have in-depth discussion with central people's government officials. If you have dozens of people in the same session and they all speak at the same time, it would be very chaotic. And why do we want to have a gathering, a meal with Hong Kong people in Shanghai? Is that what Mr. C.Y. Leung wants? It seems that the CE office is making all the decisions. According to the Secretariat, we have to sign up, we indicate our wish to go or not by Monday. Chairman, please clarify for us whether there is any time in the arrangement devoted to a discussion between Pan-Democrats and the CPG. Can we ask the CE's office or the CPG to tell us whether such an arrangement will be made available? Well, I have to clarify that so far everything in the arrangement is suggested by us and not by anyone else. The pro-establishment members want to go to some places and the Pan-Democrats want to go to some other places. So we forward all the requests to the CE's office. So there's no question of imposing anything on anyone. And Secretary General, can you please explain what the Monday deadline is about? Well, we are constrained by the deadline given us by the airline companies. We have set the deadline as Monday for a reply from members. If by Monday a member cannot give us a reply, and then subsequently he or she wants to join the delegation, we can make the arrangement for the visit. But in terms of cost, it may be higher than what is in the current estimate, and as in line with our past practice, the difference will be borne by the member in question.
Mr. Chairman, can the Secretariat make this clear to us? Before the deadline on Monday, you would undertake to give us a definite reply on whether there will be a separate slot for Pan-Democrats to have a direct dialogue with CPG officials. Can you also set the deadline for that arrangement for Monday? Secretary General, Well, as the chairman pointed out just now, this morning when we met with the president, we passed on the views of some members to the president on this matter. The president said that he would pass it on to the administration, but of course the secretariat is not in a position to undertake that we would get some information by Monday. But what I can tell members is this: if you only decide to join the visit after Monday, we will do our utmost to make the arrangement for you. Ms. Sitho. Mr. Chairman, whether the Pan Democrats will go to Shanghai would depend on whether there would be sufficient time for us to discuss constitutional reform with CPG officials. And it also depends on whether CPG officials will keep an open mind in listening to views of the public as reflected by us, including the free track proposal of the Democrats. Now, of course, we would like you to see some feedback from the relevant parties as soon as possible. I thank the pro-establishment camp for saying this openly. They've said that Pan Democrats no need to worry if there is not a separate session. The 42 pro-establishment camp members will just sit there and not say a word, so you could have all the time to give your views. Well, thank you for that offer, but then time is precious to all of us. If we all go together, maybe we should do so, meet with them by groups. Maybe the pro-establishment camp has also other proposals to make or suggestions to make. They could do it separately. And for us, we think constitutional reform is most important, so we could stay behind and exchange views with the CPG. So thank you for your offer, but this is not the best arrangement. The best way is that there will be formal program for group discussions. If we want to just stay behind and talk about the constitutional reform, we could do it. But if other members wish to visit any facilities, go ahead. So we do it by groups. And I don't suppose anyone is opposed to the Shanghai duty visit, Mr. Gary Fan. Now, if you ask this question, I'll say no. Those in favor of the Shanghai duty visit, hands up, please. Ms. Emily Lau claims the division, so the division bell would be rung for 5 minutes. You don't have to go. Even if you vote against this proposal, it doesn't mean you can't go. You're still allowed to go. Well, members may choose to vote or not vote, or you may choose to walk out and not vote, Mr. Albert Chan. I came back all the way from the 10th floor. Well, I hardly see you being so disciplined.
講清楚啦嚇，因為我哋有啲同
Ms. Emily Lau? Well, some members asked this. I think I and the Democratic Party, well, we have actually no objection to the duty visit, but we have put forward some proposals, and we haven't got a reply yet, as you know, Mr. Chairman. Would look at the reply. If we're not happy with the reply, then the Democratic Party would not join the visit. But of course, in principle, we have no objection to other members joining the visit. I just want to make that clear. Voting begins. Before I declare voting closed, please check your vote, members. If there are no questions, voting is closed. Secretariat, please display the result. 41 members present, 37 for, 3 against, no abstention. The proposal is endorsed. Any other business? Nothing under AOB. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.